it, and fuck him, and it doesn't fucking matter. And I am quite shocked, I tell you, to find out that, boys, let me tell you how fucking shocked I am, okay? How confused I am that Labor is doing so poorly in the aftermath of Corbyn. I thought that the most significant issue was that Corbyn was Hitler incarnate. Very strange to me that the absolute baboon that is Boris Johnson and the Tories are still you know, relatively well off, and that Labor lost ground despite the fact that they were so sure that this is what fucking people cared about. They blamed the by-election loss in Hartlepool on Corbyn despite him winning it the last two elections. I just I don't understand. I don't get it. I thought like we were going back to the Blairite way of doing things, and that was going to be good, bruv. That's actually going to be fucking good. The absolute state of Labour, bruv. Hartlepool. What? Hartlepool? What the fuck? I don't fucking understand it, bruv. I don't fucking understand it, bruv. Labour anti-Semitism is the only fucking thing I cared about. It's the only fucking thing I cared about, bruv. So what the fuck are we doing now? Right? What the fuck are we doing? How the fuck did this happen? I was reading all the fucking takes coming out of Guardian and coming out of every fucking outlet, bruv. Made it seem like this was the biggest problem. Turns out fucking centrism is not actually helping a fucking Labour, bruv. Starmer literally has no presence. I'm a Brit and nobody has any idea who he actually is. Fake. Yeah, I mean, he's just fucking... They just slapped him on. They just slapped him onto that position. And their hyper-focus was like... Even then, it was like fucking punishing Corbyn. It is so stupid. New voting intention among healthcare workers. What? I don't know how reliable this is. Nursing Notes UK? No fucking way, dude. No fucking way, dude. How? How? Do you have a take on the Northern Independence Party, Demsoc Party pushing for the North to leave the United Kingdom? It's great, dude. It's great. Boy, bruv, the Labour Party is twiddling my balls with the healthcare workers. Voting intention among healthcare workers went from... Healthcare workers in the 2019 election voted 82% for Labour, 6% for Conservatives, and now it is 42 to 32. That is a gigantic fucking... It's a gigantic fucking drop off, dude. I'm sure there's other reasons for it, but in the middle of COVID too, that's nuts, dude. That's mental. That's fucking mental, okay? I just want to say, you got a fucking license for that, bruv. In the UK, are SOCDEMs more leftist than Labour? Is this because their vaccine rollout, you think? I don't know. Maybe there was there a pay increase? Is that why? Really good thread from Owen Jones about Labour loss in the North. But even Owen Jones was like extremely critical. See, the problem is we talk about identity politics, right? Here, we'll cover this for now. Okay. We talk about identity politics and like how it gets weaponized against the left regularly by centrists and how it is so successful. And what happened with Corbyn was a great example where like it didn't matter if you fucking believed he was like legitimately anti-Semitic or not, okay? And he wasn't fucking legitimately anti-Semitic. I've already talked about it. That is like my fucking red line, and like the bare minimum metric for whether I consider you to be like at least somewhat reasonable as a leftist is like if you followed along with like the smear campaigns against fucking Corbyn or Ilhan Omar, the exact same smear campaigns that were also launched against Bernie, but it didn't even need to, that it didn't stick. But also on top of that, like it didn't need to happen. But for me, it was it was like, do you believe this stuff? But it didn't matter if people thought Corbyn was like legitimately an anti-Semite or not. A lot of people actually did. Like British Jews were genuinely terrified, according to poll results. Nice, like it was like an insane number. I think it was like 2/3 of British Jews said that they would leave if Corbyn became if he won the election, if Labour won the election. And it was an insane, like it was an insane thing, because like this is all the fucking media, which is very reactionary and very organized in the UK, talked about. But even the Guardian and the responsible socialist journalists like Owen Jones still got caught up in that fucking manufactured consent. And we're still like criticizing Corbyn and saying shit like, no, it is actually unacceptable. And furthering along the narrative that he's like a fucking anti-Semite. And the thing is like, the really sad thing that is the reason why it's so really successful is because if the only thing you talk about when talking about Corbyn is not policies, is not what he can do, not fucking Boris Johnson's like problems or anything like that, not like the Tory administration and austerity measures that have like crippled the fucking NHS. If the only thing you talk about is like Corbyn anti-Semite, then that you have effectively dismantled every other argument. You don't need to talk about anything else. You don't need to talk about anything else but Corbyn's anti-Semitism. And all he's going to do in that circumstance is try to deflect or try to fucking push back and try to fucking tackle those criticisms. So you get caught up in a mountain of shit, and you always have to address that. So then you can't have a conversation about anything else. And that's what the most successful, that was the, yes, Owen Jones was for Corbyn, but even he fucking engaged in the manufactured consent. That's what I'm saying. And he was trying to make that argument in the middle of a smear campaign, so people took it the wrong way. Yeah, there is very real anti-Semitism in the UK. Oh, yeah. But as far as what I saw, okay, with my limited interactions with British leftists and whatnot, as far as what I know about anti-Semitism, that island is not only turfy, but super fucking anti-Semitic, okay? There's a lot of anti-Semitism in the UK, and adjusted to the entirety of the public, the Labour Party had less anti-Semitism, like significantly less anti-Semitism, than the rest of the fucking country. There's a lot more Islamophobia. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But that's just the norm. The Islamophobia is just the norm, obviously. Kebab, bruv. What are you trying to do, bruv? You want to fucking make this into a Islamic Republic, bruv? So they took a guy who is like way too nice for his own fucking good, and turned him into this goddamn villain. And it's crazy to me. Okay. Anyway, it's very, very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. I have Islamic ray guns. Responsibility for the Hartlepool, is that how you say it? I don't fucking know. Hartlepool catastrophe. It is a catastrophe. Belongs with the Labour leadership. In 2015, Labour won 35.6% of the vote, less than 2019. In 2017, Labour won 52.5%. Even in the 2019 disaster, Labour won 37.7%. In 2021, Labour won 28.7%. The argument, Labour only won because the Brexit Party split the vote in 2019, is completely disingenuous. In 2015, UKIP won a higher share of the vote than the Brexit Party. In 2017, many of those UKIP voters defected to Labour, hence Labour won over half the vote. If people who voted UKIP in 2015 could vote Labour in 2017, why did Labour fail to win over Brexit Party voters in 2021, especially given Brexit is no longer the main issue? It gets worse. Labour has lost many people who voted for it during the 2019 disaster. Is Labour partly the victim of long-term trends? Absolutely. But given Labour in 2017 managed to reverse that trend in Hartlepool and winning the biggest majority since 2001, those trends are clearly not irreversible or inevitable. Not actually about whether Labour should be more left-wing. Most voters don't think of terms of left and right. In 2017, Labour offered a vision that inspired millions. Was it enough to win? No, obviously. But it was clearly far more effective than the current approach. The current approach of Labour resembles the Democratic Party to me. Okay? The American Democratic Party is incredibly similar to the Blairite neoliberal Labour Party. Okay? It's like they're cucks. They're Democrats. But the problem on the other side, like going to the fucking center, will at least like win you favor from the largely reactionary and largely fucking right-wing British media empire that's owned by a reactionary Australian. Okay? Like, they won't fucking attack you like they did with Corbyn. But then also, you're not as popular with the public because you don't have identifiable grievances that you can launch policies off of. So that's what it is. It's not like I'm not one of these out of touch people who says stuff like,
this is super random.
I'm not one of these out of touch people who like hyper focuses, like laser focuses on specific grievances, or says stuff like, if someone was a out and about communist and they would like magically win every fucking voter. I'm not saying that at all. Or I'm not one of those people who's like, it's because they went woke and went broke or anything like that. I feel like all of those criticisms are fucking idiotic. One of the most significant problems was that Brexit was the key issue, and Corbyn was stuck between a rock and a hard place and did not demonstrate leadership. What he should have done there, as leaders are supposed to do, is broadly define their vision and whip his own party and his own membership within his own party into a unified goal. And he wanted to have his cake and eat it too, but he was forced to be in that situation where he had actual fucking leftist Brexit fans, and he also had a lot of people who were not a fan of Brexit for obvious reasons and wanted to remain in EU. So he could not fucking take or in his mind, he tried to make the most of it and basically went kind of centrist during the Brexit shit. Not even kind of centrist. He went centrist during the Brexit shit, and that was the reason why I think he suffered losses. Not because he was far too left, not because he was far too woke. None of that shit, okay? That's the issue. The real big issue. 15-year paying Labour member actively involved in local party. I couldn't tell you what the Labour Party policies are now. No, you can, Adnan. The most important fucking Labour Party policy is criticizing the Corbyn commandants, I guess, and those who were Corbynites who were fucking pro-Palestinian liberation. That is literally the only tangible policy position that I, as someone who admittedly doesn't follow this stuff closely, can fucking tell you. And that is insane to me. This notion that people would only care about that and only fucking talk about that and only care about that is so psychotic to me. Okay? So psychotic. Like, oh, thank God. Now I'm definitely going to go vote Labour. Okay, so then Labour, as things stand, is offering no vision whatsoever to the people of the country. What reason is it given people to vote for them? Meanwhile, the Tories have fused Brexit-inspired populist nationalism with strategic investment. It's getting a clear run with no alternative. The Labour right are now arguing that even as Labour does far worse than Jeremy Corbyn ever managed, that the party needs to define itself against the left even more. The Labour right have no vision, no ideas, no popular policies. Their cupboard is completely bare. Labour has to offer a vision that inspires people to vote for it in a time of crisis. If Keir Starmer cannot offer that vision, then he needs to reconsider his position. Straight up. it is in a fucking, it's in a death spiral at this point, and they are doing what the Democratic Party did, which is no. What we need to do is go more to the right. And by the way, the irony, of course, is that the Democratic Party in America, however, is literally doing the opposite of what they used to do, what they did under the Obama administration, and actually moving a little bit more to the left on certain on key policy issues, which I'm going to actually get to right now, because this is the most important story of today. The job numbers came out for April, and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which sounds very official and like it's a fucking government entity, even though it's not, is losing their fucking minds. So we are going to talk about that right now. People, this is like, I think this is probably one of the more important stories that will define the next couple of months and what the
past full term
labor couldn't beat this man. Okay, let's watch that first. Jesus Christ, what is this?
You are stinky.
Okay, this is, what the fuck is this? What's this guy doing? Hold on, I gotta grab something real quick. I mean, he is pretty drippy. Like, I could see why someone would vote for this guy. They're like, yeah, he's fucking cool, dude.
Let me see that juicy dumper.
I've long held the belief that Pakistani and Indian people have the best TikToks on the internet. If you watch me for a long time, you know this already. And honestly, like, it's demonstrated once again right here. Okay? Straight up. If you guys have ever watched, like, we should probably do that later today, like Indian TikToks. Oh my fucking God, dude. Have you ever seen like the amount of emotion and it's like Darman on steroids, okay? If Darman had a liberal usage of slow motion, yeah, TikTok is banned in India, whatever, the new Mojo, I think it's called. Right. The Indian TikTok is now called Mojo, right? Isn't that what it is? It's so fucking good. Is it Mojo? Am I saying it right? I don't know what it is, but it is like, it is straight up I don't know what it is, but it's the best. It is some of the best things that I have ever seen. It's like every relationship has to have slow motion. Like, there's always twists and turns. In a 5 minute, or not even a 5 minute, in a 60-second TikTok clip, there's like 8 different twists that occur, all happening in fucking slow motion, to like some Indian trap music. It's fucking dope. So it is not surprising that this guy was able to put so much passion and so much while using such little words.
What is your favorite barnacle chat?
Here's literally a British YouTuber, Nico Omilana, who's prank running for mayor of London. Just shows how the UK elections are a shit show.
Best Policy Fun channel.
This guy fucking killed it, dude. Anyway, so I'm not gonna go back. If there isn't at least 5 twists and 10 slow-mo zoom-ins, is it worth watching? With like dudes crying. Extremely manicured dudes. Like, I've never seen eyebrows and hair. Like, hairline so sharp, you can fucking cut your eyes just by staring at it. Okay? Hairline and beard lines so fucking sharp, I've never seen that in my entire life. Anyway. So, you missed it? What? Oh, there's a penis there? Suck dick. So, Corbyn had to deal with PLP and the Blairite Labour MPs actively sabotaging him from the very start of his tenure as a leader. Those MPs were devastating when Labour did far better than they expected in 2017. And even then, they didn't get behind him. Yes, I know. We talked about this on the broadcast before. You mean like this one? No, that's not a TikTok. That's just like... Oh, but like TikToks do resemble this, yes. Bro, I swear to God, I shouldn't be showing this to JoJo fans because they're gonna become. I mean, or maybe I should show this to JoJo fans because like now they're all Indian Bollywood movie fans now. Like Indian soap operas go off, dude. It's crazy. I mean, this literally is like this is JoJo. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. What was I gonna do here? Okay, so let's get to the jobs report, boys. So let me just say something. Okay, people have been crying. People have been crying about too much welfare for as long as America has existed. Okay, you don't want to give the working poor too much. Because if you give the working poor too much, then, you know, they're not going to want to do the horrible fucking jobs that they're subjected to for just barely living wages and sometimes even not living wages at all. Like, why the fuck would someone work for $2.13 an hour plus tips to get fucking spat on and shit on by a bunch of entitled, spoiled, selfish fucking assholes who are operating like fucking mini tyrants in every interaction that they have with someone in the service industry when they can fucking sit at home and collect unemployment insurance? Now, that's always been the case. Okay? That has always been a problem. That's always been a problem for commerce, a problem for business owners. Okay? That, like, if the government actually does something positive for workers in the form of welfare or workers in the form of you know, SNAP benefits, like any sort of social safety net, so that you don't fucking literally die if you're not working, then that's going to make it a lot harder for people to be motivated. And the thing that I want everyone to understand here, and this is like econ textbook shit, okay? Government interference in any capacity in the labor market like this is going to give more power to the labor force overall. And that's not a good position to be in because that means that they have to also increase their wages to compete with the unemployment insurance or anything that you're getting. Unemployment has allowed me to rebuild my life. I'm taking CompTIA A+ soon, so I'm thankful for these safety nets, and I will defend them to death. Anyone that feels different is just ignorant. Yeah, absolutely. So they were very upset about this. Janet Yellen says if unemployment bonus was slowing down hiring, you would expect lower job growth in states and sectors where UI replacement rate was particularly high. In fact, what you see is the exact opposite. Basically, Yellen is pointing to strong growth in sectors such as leisure and hospitality, where wages are typically low, and the relative financial benefit of staying on UI high. If UI holding back jobs overall, Yellen's suggesting, you wouldn't see strong growth in that sector. I think that's low-key. I think that's a little bullshit. Not to disrespect Janet Yellen here, who obviously has way more credentials than I do. But I think the reason why you're seeing strong growth in sectors such as leisure and hospitality is because it was literally fucking done. Like, not to defend the fucking commerce side here, okay? But the reality is, of course there's going to be growth in that sector because it's finally opening again. So the real problem is going to come in the next couple of months if they don't fucking take away the benefits, which I think the American government is going to do. I think the American government is literally going to try to take away some of the welfare and make it harder for people to survive without having a job. That's why your insurance is tied to your fucking employment, because we need to be saddled with debt and fearful of our lives. We need to always live in a state of fear that if you don't have a fucking job, no matter what it is, and usually for a lot of people with not many options, it's basically fucking slave labor in the service industry as you slave away, as people shit on you every goddamn day, or I don't know, deliver fucking Postmates for $1.50 and you get fucking ticketed for $75 for putting your car in a place where you're not supposed to be parking. Okay, like to live like in this servile state. That's the only way you can survive. And if that's your only option, then you're gonna take it, right? But when the government comes in and does what the government is supposed to do, which is offer you money so you don't fucking die if you don't have a job, all of a sudden, that's going to be a problem. I'm in a mountain resort tourist town, and all winter the local restaurants and ski resorts has issues keeping staff. Didn't think it was due to unemployment. Thought it was like due to the virus. There was a record high demand here over the winter and spring, and they still had trouble finding workers. And service jobs have been offering like 13-hour plus tips, for example. I think people were also afraid of COVID for understandable reasons, right? So, but no, I do legitimately believe that. Let me tell you something. 13 an hour, guys. $13 an hour plus tip is actually fucking good. No, dude, stop saying it's trash wages. Do you have any idea? What fucking in the service industry, jobs where you make tips, it looks like? That is incredibly competitive. I don't think many of you have ever done a service industry job. $13 plus tips is actually fucking good. Tips is how most people in the service industry like make their money. That most people who have literally worked in the service, have you? No, but at least I know better than you do. Holy shit. $13 an hour plus tips is fucking great, dude. Like, I mean, it's not, obviously it should be more, but like in comparison to fucking what most service jobs offer, most waiters in this chat would fucking kill for that shit. Yeah, you make like, it's literally like $2 an hour plus tip is usually like the wage that you get. Depending on what state you're in. But yeah, most places you get like 5 to 7 plus tip. Yeah, dude, look at this. People in Oregon get $2 maybe with tax tips. $5 is like average or good. Two is what you usually get. $2.50 plus tip. Anyway, so the point is people are probably fearful of COVID as well, and that was part of the reason why people didn't want to fucking go and do these like dog shit jobs. Let's be real. These aren't fucking easy jobs. I mean, this is like these are jobs where you get paid to get shit on. You're on your feet the entire time. People mistreat you like dog shit, and you have to just take it and smile through it while you're literally making no money. And the only way that you can get someone to do that for those wages, $2.50 an hour plus tip, is if you have no other option, no other alternative. So when the government steps in and says, no, actually, we should be giving you another alternative. Here's some fucking welfare. Here's some unemployment insurance for you. And they had to do that in the pandemic, obviously. for obvious reasons, because there was no way to get a job back in that situation. Then you have to make more competitive wages. You have to offer more competitive wages. Okay? And yeah, I was going to say this. $2.15 an hour in VA, but if you make less than the federal minimum, you're supposed to be reimbursed. So a lot of places will do that. They'll guarantee like minimum wage if you don't make it with the tip. But that's still fucking awful, right? How are they paying that low when the minimum wage is $7.25? Because it's a tip, because of tipping. Okay? That's the point. And a lot of restaurants won't even do that, but I've been in the service industry for a couple years, and 13 plus tips as a server is insanely good. Yeah. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that yes, unemployment insurance is certainly playing a role in people not wanting to take these fucking dog shit jobs. Why are people not wanting to take these dog shit jobs? Because they're fucking dog shit jobs, and they're essential and they're important, as evidenced by the fact that we literally venerated and celebrated our essential workers that were in the fucking front lines getting COVID and like killing their grandparents for the past year. You know, we were loving them real hard back then, but all of a sudden, when you can't get your fucking mango smoothie because no one wants to work at the Jamba Juice for fucking no wages, for shit wages, and the government's paying more, then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, bring these fucking servile slaves back to where they belong, which is in the fucking kitchen, which is manning the Jamba Juice station right now, okay? I am important. I am entitled. I don't want to think about how fucking dog shit my life is, and consumption is the only way that I can express my identity and like have one fucking moment of happiness, which is something that I have translated to like one moment of freedom in America. That's through consumption. And if I can't do that, then this entire fucking social contract falls apart. Which is precisely why I was expecting this to happen, and it's already happening. A lot of people are starting to get mad. Now, is it already being exaggerated? Absolutely. But, you know, you've heard from conservative chefs on Fox News, for example, that like people don't want to come and work here. There was a famous conservative chef that went on Fox News and cried about it a little bit, and immediately they found out that like, no, he wasn't offering the dishwasher, the dish cleaners fucking $21 an hour. That was a lie that he told, and it was actually like a $12 position. Like they literally just Googled it and they could find it immediately. So, or not even $12. There's like other positions in the same place as well. So consumption is the only way I can express myself is the best quote I've seen about the average American person. Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this before. That's why the jalapeno poppers at Applebee's is the most important part of like the American culture. That's why people lost their shit when they couldn't get their jalapeno poppers at Applebee's, okay? You can't grab a beer with the fucking boys after, I don't know, selling a bunch of jet skis on your father's jet ski dealership. Then what the fuck are we doing this for then? I mean, what's the reason? Why have we enslaved half the fucking planet? Why have we why are we bombing all these countries and taking away their natural resources if I can't get fucking toilet paper and I can't get my jalapeno poppers, right? Oh shit, now the jalapeno poppers are inaccessible. Oh fuck that. That's not good. So, of course, places are like South Carolina and Montana are ending all pandemic.
Think of what it will mean.
They are ending all pandemic unemployment benefits for jobless residents to force everyone back to that servile state that they were in. That's going to happen more frequently around the world. Let's take a look at the jobs numbers, though.
News just in. The April jobs report is out, and it's a huge disappointment and, frankly, a shock. Just 266,000 jobs were added last month. Yes, that's added, but economists were expecting about 1 million jobs to have been added in the month. Unemployment remained little changed at 6.1%. This is the slowest improvement for jobs since January. Also, black men and women and Hispanics continuing to feel the brunt of the pandemic layoffs.
All of this despite more vaccinations. The hope had been more people getting vaccinated. They're going out, and more businesses reopening and also staffing up. We have live coverage of the breaking news. The president is set to speak soon in response to this. Let's begin, though, with Christine Romans. Christine, it's not often that economists, and these are private economists and government economists, to get a forecast like this so off. What happened here?
A major disappointment. What happened was a year ago this month, 20 million jobs vanished out of the labor market. We shut the economy down, and turning it
Incredible captions, by the way.
back on, there is no playbook. There's no blueprint for how to do this. And we saw companies hire much fewer workers than we had expected. And we saw the unemployment rate actually tick up. That 266,000 number, Poppy's right to point out that's the slowest since January, and far fewer jobs added back than we had expected. What we've been hearing from different parts of the economy, especially in leisure and hospitality and in manufacturing, is they can't find the workers. Now, 331,000 leisure and hospitality jobs were added in the month. So those reopenings are resulting in hiring there, but not as many as we had thought here. And I think, guys, there's probably three things at play here. You still have, thousands of people contracting the virus every single day. You have schools still closed and a lack of childcare, and you have unemployment benefits at $300 extra a week that last until the fall.
I love when this entire conversation, and I see this on like NPR too all the time, and it triggers the fuck out of me because my worldview is a little bit different than these people. But do I want to chill for $3K a month or work 40 hours a week for $2K a month? I wonder why. Yeah, like no shit, right? So that's obvious. That much is obvious. Especially when like you're not even chilling. You can literally focus on yourself and actually like take time out to be able to, I don't know, build skills in an area that you're interested in and greatly improve your fucking life. Nobody wants to do these jobs. No one is going to want to do the fucking shit work. No one wants to clean the toilets, okay? That's why that's the most common argument against fucking like democratizing the workplace. Everyone will always be like, okay, who cleans the toilets? Because, but the unspoken part of that agreement is that under a capitalist organization of the economy, those unfulfilling jobs are taken by people who have no other option. Okay? Under capitalism, you fucking you clean the toilets basically not at gunpoint, but at the threat of the structural violence of poverty. Okay? That's it. Like the threat that if you don't clean the fucking toilets and make bullshit wages, you won't be able to pay off your debts. You won't be able to have a roof over your head and food on your fucking table. Okay? That's why these people are fucking losing their minds right now. That's why. Now, there are ways to improve that situation. Okay? If you give the janitor more of a share and more of a responsibility in what happens in the corporation in the form of one vote, for example, just anything, or more money in general, then they're not going to want to fucking, they're not going to hate cleaning the toilets. Why do you call it a threat? Because if you believe in humanity and you believe that like human beings, by virtue of being humans, are important and should be celebrated and cherished and protected and should not die, then you understand that a system that is designed in a way where like you literally will fucking die if you don't work, no matter how fucking awful the job is a threat. Because there is death in the end of that. There's homelessness in the end of that. There is a life of pain in the end of that if you literally do not fucking work. Okay? So, giving cops violent reactions to homeless is very much a gunpoint. Yeah, I mean, like I don't have all of the answers. I've never said that I have all the fucking answers. Okay, but what I do believe is positive incentivizations for remuneration work a lot better than negative incentives that that basically point to you're gonna fucking die if you don't do this. Okay, I get that. I understand that these jobs are unfulfilling. These jobs are unfulfilling. No one wants to fucking clean the toilets, okay? I clean my own toilets in my house. I know. Okay? You don't want to do the chores at the house when you're a little kid and your parents want you to do it. So you need to incentivize people to do that, to recognize that that's like an important fucking part of every company. Okay? Shit's different when it's a job. No, it's not. It's not. It's all about how much of a... Why do you clean your own bathroom? Why do you clean your own bathroom? You clean it because it's literally your bathroom. If you don't clean it, it's going to be disgusting and you're going to live in fucking filth. Because you have ownership over that own space. Okay? You have ownership over that own space. If the janitor has somewhat of an ownership over and is celebrated and recognized for what they bring to the fucking table, then they are going to be more motivated to do a job that is otherwise incredibly unfulfilling and bad. Like a hard job to fucking do. Okay? That's the point. It's never going to be easy to clean other people's poop. It's always going to be shit. But the least you can do is at least make it more of less of a chore and more for a reasonable payment, and have some fucking freedom over what you do. Anyway. Do you know they get paid wages? Very cool. Exactly. However, if those wages are nothing, if those wages are dog shit, then you arrive at a problem where people are like, yeah, I'd rather get money from the fucking government than subject myself to this situation. Do you not understand this? Born to shit, forced to wipe. A lot of food service workers found other better work when we shut shit down. You can't find us because we are better off now. Make all business owners clean their own toilets because their poverty shouldn't be fulfilling. No, there is a reason to automate those jobs. Those jobs should be automated, and hopefully in the future they will be. This man is telling us how the world works from his apartment in Los Angeles. Omega Law. If we had more ownership, those jobs are shared work. The janitor would not likely have that title and could contribute to other stuff in the org ideally. Yes. That too. Okay. So I'm using the most extreme example I can use specifically because it's like not a well-respected job, but a job that is literally fucking impossible to live without. Okay. That's why I talk about janitors. Trash collectors is another one, okay? Trash men. Like, waste management is essential. That's why when waste management decides we're going to go on fucking strike, you see the outcome of that very quickly. You see the outcome of that very quickly. There's trash all over the fucking streets. And that's dog shit. You can't live like that. It's terrible. Skillless work equals low pay. Why can someone pay a shit ton of money for a job literally everyone can do? Because, and here's the fucking secret, everyone can do most jobs as long as they get fucking educated and trained for it, okay? That's the big secret that, like, rich people don't want you to know, okay? You could do this job. If you put enough effort and time into it, maybe you wouldn't be as good as I am, or maybe you would even be better, but you could do this job, okay? Just like everyone could be a fucking CEO. It's just a matter of like training and experience. Okay? That's so crazy. Like you would motherfuckers be like, everyone could be a janitor. Oh, I'm sorry. I know everyone could be a fucking janitor. I didn't realize that like you upstairs though, instead in your fucking cushy office job is you literally listen to me in one fucking AirPod as you make yourself look like you're crunching numbers on an Excel spreadsheet. That is irreplaceable, dude. That's irreplaceable. I went to college for this. I went to college for this job and I learned nothing in the past 4 years other than how to make Irish car bombs. But hey, it's a very important job. It's a very important job and the janitor would never be able to do it. No, motherfucker. Just remove yourself from that idiotic worldview, okay? Anyway. So. Yeah, down to the fucking one AirPod I got you. I fucking sniped you, dude. So, just remember that. Getting called out, only I'm driving a truck now. Yeah, like, that's the thing. That's the point. And by the way, these are important jobs. Don't get me wrong. The biggest lie perpetuated by capitalists is labeling certain labor as low skill when a majority of high-paying office work is just slacking off. Yeah, it's just like, you had a better spawn point, you had better opportunities, and that's why where you're at. That's why you're where you're at, and they're where they're at. Anyway. So. You are trivializing. Wait, where is it? I love this. Hold on. Where is it? 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 Ah, fuck. Where is it? You are trivializing the high-paying, like, important jobs, right? Then the funniest part is, like, when someone literally always will be like, well, what about a fucking aerospace engineer? Yeah, motherfucker. Obviously, there's differences between, like, certain fucking fields and what you are learning, but ultimately, you still have the capability, if someone invested enough time and energy into you, to be able to do that. So stop fucking making that comparison when I'm talking about, like, literally CEOs and shit like that, or office jobs. Oh, here's a conservative chef. Chef Andrew Gruel. It's ironic for a name for a chef. There are no employees available in California. We are paying dishwashers $21 to start. Two main reasons people tell me they won't work. One, they're making enough on unemployment and would rather not work. Two, with schools closed, they can't pay someone to watch their children. Line cook job is full-time, $16 to $20 an hour. Room for advancement. Wait, this wasn't even the one. The other one was like even lower than this. And this is a full-time cooking experience, like 5 years required job. It's not like you're not paying dishwashers $21 if your 5 years work required, like, line cook job is getting $16 to $20 an hour. That's why it was like, that's why he was making fun of that and using this as an example of, like, how fucking stupid that is. Slapfish Restaurant is, like, his group here, by the way. We have welders that didn't go to school for it. The difference is they had someone willing to help them learn. Yeah. $16 for line cook is embarrassing. I made that 10 years ago in DC. The way liberal media literally coerce you into believing that no one's at fault are the workers as opposed to the corporate elite who pay measly wages. Yeah. So the point is, the thing that fucking annoys me, the thing that is incredibly annoying here is that, like, no one, and I mean no one, like, that I've seen thus far, asks the very obvious question, like, well, what about the other side of this equation? Like, the government has interfered and created a somewhat robust unemployment insurance for those who are lucky enough to be able to get it. So why can't the companies, in an effort to drive up demand, why can't they offer competitive wages? Because the inverse of that is never mentioned. When the government interferes to offer subsidies to certain industries or anything like that, that's never seen as like a burden or the government interfering in free market enterprise, okay? Why can't these businesses just pick themselves up by their fucking bootstraps and start cutting into their own profit margins and maybe even raise prices a little bit, okay? Because there will be a need for some price increases, and start fucking hiring people and pay them better. I can't take the pressure. I'm sick of bitches, sick of nagging bosses bitching while I'm washing dishes. Damn, did you just... Bars, dude. Bars, bro. A specialized workforce is always going to be more efficient. It isn't necessarily evil. We just need better wages for low-paying jobs through collective bargaining.
You painting your nails gave me the confidence to do the same hassle.
Labor economics and the fact that wages haven't risen in the past 10 years and the most interesting thing we studied and a huge problem. So that's the other part of it, is that there's a supply and demand curve, and yet when unemployment was like near fucking full employment, wages did not adjust correctly. So what happened? And every economist is like, oh, I don't know what's going on. We're not hitting projected rates. Labor it's supposed to be a labor market. When there is near full employment, then workers are supposed to literally be able to turn around and say, hey, it's time for us to be able to increase pressure on you. Because there aren't a lot of replaceable workers that you could just like fucking free up and hire. And ultimately, in a normal supply demand curve, when that happens, labor should be able to start raising wages. By the way, Econ 101 Andy's fuming, but like this is literally Econ 101 shit. But the reason why it doesn't happen in America is because labor has no power. They have no way to demonstrate their power. They have no opportunity to collectively bargain because there's no labor unions.
Not a lot of incentive for some folks to come back into the labor market at this point in the middle of a pandemic where there's a health and safety risk and your kids aren't in school yet, right? So there are still some big distortions in the economy that need to be worked out.
Yeah. Okay, so Jeremy, if you're sitting in the House, the White House, behind you right now this morning, I think you're thinking two things. We're surprised at three things. We're surprised at this number, but hey, this gives us a lot more ammunition to call for the $6 trillion in spending we want. But what about states like Montana and South Carolina that are saying we're going to stop those extended federal unemployment benefits to get people back to work? I mean, economists at Jefferies just a few minutes ago say this: outside of the possibility that employers are unable to find people willing to work to fill the positions, the weakness is totally baffling. Nothing in the lead up to today suggested we would see this weak a number.
Hey, good afternoon.
Yeah, listen, there are a lot of dynamics.
Yes, everyone can learn how to do it. Most people don't want to go to college. Most people are working these low-skilled jobs or people who made poor life choices. Thank you, Circle, for all of your endless understanding of how people are subjected to the living conditions that they're subjected to. Oh, because they made poor life choices. I'm assuming that this person is literally 14 years old, or at least operating with the capacity of a 14-year-old's brain, to try to create a neat little narrative that perfectly gets wrapped up in a tidy little bow. Okay, with the assumption that like, oh, if you're poor, you must have made bad choices, is laughably idiotic, but also, unfortunately, very successful as far as like how people believe it. Like, doesn't that sound great? Now you don't have to feel bad about all of those poor people because they didn't want to fucking saddle themselves with $250,000 of debt to enter a labor market that is also potentially not going to give them a meaningful wage. Isn't that great? So what about all the people that did go to college and they're still fucking working as line cooks, for example? What happened to those people? They made poor life choices too. There are hella highly educated people who like literally work bullshit jobs right now. It hasn't even been 5 minutes since you were talking about the myth of low skill jobs. Yeah. No, it's great, man. It's great. Why did you make the poor life choice of being born into a poor family? That's really fucked up, my friend. Hey, maybe you should have picked a better spawn point, dumbass. What a fucking idiot. I can't believe the poor life choices that you made that forced you to live with a fucking poor family and have a shit spawn point, and now you can't go to college, so you deserve to be poor. You deserve to be fucking enslaved, okay? The other side of that argument is so dumb because it's like, let's say they did make bad choices in their lives. Why are we punishing them? Why should they be punished for making bad choices? You make bad choices every fucking day. You made the mistake of joining this chat and then actually having your dumbass opinion be heard by 28,000 people so we can laugh at you. Okay? Like, people should not get significant punishments like that for bad choices that they make. That's so dumb. There is no respawn. Okay? You're fucked.
at play. One thing that is certain, though, is that President Biden's remarks this morning are going to be different than what perhaps they would have been had those economist projections been correct. We've heard the president over the last couple of weeks beating back these fears about inflation, pushing back on Republican arguments that we've already spent $1.9 trillion on this coronavirus relief, another $4 trillion for his American Jobs Plan and American Families Plan could lead to the economy overheating and frankly just isn't needed, is the argument that a lot of Republicans have been making. Now the president is able to make perhaps a different case today, making the case that yes, the $1.9 trillion in coronavirus relief has helped the economy recover. Jobs are still gaining back. We are.
Yes, they made a poor choice in which degree to pursue, which caused them to get a shit job. I'm poor and a POC. I work my ass off to go to college with full loans. If you're really poor, you have so many chances to do well in high school. And if you do, going to college will basically be free because of scholarships. What you are exhibiting here, if you are honest about your intentions, or if you're like truly honest about your background, is survivor's bias. Okay? Oh, it happened to me, so it can happen to everyone. That's another idiotic take. Turns out that a college education isn't the end all be all because you still have the brain processing power of a fucking walnut. Okay? Oh, dude, I went to college on a scholarship, so everyone else can too. Shut the fuck up, dumbass. That's not how this works.
9/11 was
okay?
CGI.
There's always going to be people that are worse off than you. There's always going to be people that are less lucky than you. You're always going to be more privileged than certain others. What you have to do is, in a reasonable rate, be as utilitarian as possible with government programs, okay? It's not like fucking college is free, all right? And even if it was free, there's still other issues that that cause people to suffer. Like, oh, I'm poor in POC. Okay, well, you know, there's plenty of poor POC that aren't as privileged as you are or didn't get as lucky as you did, on top of the hard work, I'm sure, that you put into it. Because, of course, that, you know, you still have to fucking work hard. That go to schools where there's no guidance counselor, motherfucker. What are you going to do? You go to school, your school is significantly underfunded. There's no guidance counselor. What are you supposed to do? Well, you did poorly in high school, so time to die, I guess, in comparison to the fucking wealthy child who does as poorly as he wants to, and it doesn't matter because ultimately his father is going to buy the wing of the Harvard library, so he's going to be able to go to the top school, network his ass off, and by that I mean shove his fingers in his fraternity brother's asshole, who's then going to become a fucking hedge fund manager down the line anyway, and now they're all caked up and making millions of fucking dollars a year. Oh man, what a beautiful, wonderful system of meritocracy, dude. The rich absolutely deserve to be in that position, and the poor deserve to be in their position. Really, if you are actually fucking poor and a person of color, the fact that you have been fed all of this misinformation and you so blindly follow it and literally fucking look to other poor people of color with so much disdain is sad, dude. That's fucking pathetic, dog. Seriously. Pathetic, motherfucker. I know it isn't, but in the society we live in, college is extremely valuable. You legit can't get a decent job without one. Fucking literally not true, dude. Actually not true. And if that's the case, then make college free, okay? There's so many fucking PhDs in this audience that have they can't find fucking jobs. You are being insane. Okay?
Still, more jobs are still being added, but at the same time, he can now say more stimulus is still needed, and in particular, focusing on that infrastructure proposal that he has, which we have heard him frame repeatedly in the sense of these blue-collar jobs that can be created, and that is certainly something that I think we can expect to hear from the president once again this morning.
So, Christine Romans, that's what the president's going to say. Let's be clear. The president and the White House were expecting a victory lap on these numbers. They're not going to get.
His voice broke. Victory lap.
So they'll argue for more money. We need it. You're already hearing from Republicans, and I'll bet you $5 you're going to hear more from them today saying, well, there's no incentive to go back to work because there's too much unemployment insurance, et cetera. Chrissy, what does the data tell us, right?
I mean, the data
about which of those forces is real?
the data tells us there's a huge mismatch in the American labor market right now, that you have factories that have 500,000 jobs are available in American factories, but they can't find the work there. We know that we're looking for truck drivers, for gasoline, for tanker trucks, and that's the coronavirus that dislocated that. All of a sudden, the economy shut down. You didn't need all of this gas moving around the country. Those workers were laid off, and now they've gone to do something else. They're maybe working in a different part of the transportation industry. So the coronavirus recession